ready to present at the getting ready to start the peak performance. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Savvy Sales Lady Live. I'm your host, Christine Harrington. Now, I found something out the other day, and I haven't quite figured out why this is, but I cannot see any comments that come through on LinkedIn. For some reason, I don't see those comments. I only see the comments that come through Facebook. So this is broadcast on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. I don't know that I have any YouTube comments that comes up. And Kristen says she's on. Good afternoon, Christine. Oh, you're on LinkedIn. So I saw that comment. That's interesting. When I've gone back and looked at the podcast, hi, Kirsten. I meant to say that. When I've gone back to look at the replays, I've seen comments from LinkedIn that never showed up on the live stream. So I'm not really sure why that is. So I'm just letting you know that. And Kirsten, if you have any questions for me today, be sure and ask them. Don't be shy, everyone, because we're going to talk about questions, asking the right questions. All right, so why did I decide to bring this up as a topic? It's because in my coaching practice, I have noticed that sales professionals that I'm coaching are either asking the wrong questions or they're not asking the right questions. I'll give you an example. So I'm teaching 4 sales teams right now, and the 4 are all rookies. They have never sold before, so I'm teaching them how to cold call. And the ladies are just delightful, and they're trying hard and they practice. And I get that they're going to make mistakes. I'm fine with that. Boy, was I bad in the beginning when I started cold calling. So I have a lot of compassion and empathy for them, especially when we get into role playing. I know people don't like role playing, but really it is the best way to interact and learn how to cold call. But they make a common mistake. And I have a group of ladies that have been selling maybe, I think the longest has sold maybe 20 years. The newest one has sold 10 years. They're making the same mistake. So that's why I thought we would come on today and talk about questions. So when you're cold calling, here's typically what I hear, and I feel this thing tickling my nose, and I don't know if it's a husky hair or kitty hair. So this is typically what I hear when cold calling and coaching and training when cold calling. They'll start out the conversation like this. When someone answers, "Hi, Jim. This is Christine Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. How are you?" Or they'll say, "Hi, Ellen. This is Jane with such and such company. How are you?" You don't want to say, "How are you?" Immediately, the person on the other line is thinking to themselves, what is this all about? I don't have time to take this call. I don't know this person. So it's an immediate either hang up, obviously a cold call, or they'll just do some kind of an excuse to get off the phone. And some people will be polite and say, "I'm fine. What's this about?" So here's a better way to start the conversation when someone cold calls? Let me think. Hi, Michael. This is Christine with XYZ Company. We help you elevate your sales through sales coaching and training. Are you still the same person that's managing the sales team? And then that's how you open it up. Or you can say, hi, Sarah. This is Christine with XYZ Company. We bring fun to childcare centers like yours to help children learn soccer, but also life skills. Are you still the after school director? So, first of all, you're piquing their interest by saying what you do, giving them an idea of what you do, because chances are, if you've never talked to them, they've never heard of you, right? So by saying, how are you, that's such a common overused question. You want to ask a better question about them and about what they're doing. Now, there are two types of questions. There's the closed-end question, which is what I asked, are you still the after-school director? Simple answer, yes or no, right? That's a closed-ended question. You ask a closed-ended question in the beginning in order to get them warmed up to start talking. Later, you can ask open-ended questions, which is a question to expand either on a topic or that gets the conversation moving. An open-ended question would be, let me think, on childcare centers. What's your opinion of enrichment programs in your area? That would be an open-ended question because they can't answer that yes or no. Another example of a closed-end question is, how many people are on your sales team? That is a closed-ended question because it's a number, right? It's just a simple one-word answer. When you're asking questions, you also want to keep in mind not to be firing off question after question after question, sounding like you're an interrogator. You never want to sound like you're an interrogator. All your questions should be moving the sale along, or, excuse me, let me back up. You do not sell on the first cold call that you make. You are only setting an appointment. So you're moving the conversation along to set the appointment to have the real sales conversation, either the next day or the following week. So take some time and formulate in your mind what you want to say when you're cold calling. One of my clients is calling former clients of his, and he came to me to ask a better way to approach these former clients. So we outlined exactly what he was going to say in the opening, the first call, and then when he sets the appointment, what he's going to go through on the sales appointment. Many times people think, well, I've done this for 10, 15 years. I can, I don't need to prepare. I can just spout it off the top of my head. You still need to prepare. And what I found with him is he was doing all the typical things that you shouldn't do because it became a habit of his over the years. And that's the real trick, is you may fall back into those old habits of, how are you doing today? Right? And that's why preparing for the call before you make the call, preparing for the sales conversation before you have the sales conversation keeps you on track and keeps you from falling back into those poor habits. So that's why I'm so big on practicing and preparing. Another thing that I do, and I have done very successfully, I will say, and I'll even go a step further and say I have never had anyone say no to me, or I'm sorry, say yes to me, and that's this question. I'll say, hi, Jane. This is Christine Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. We help accelerate teams. Oh, let me start over. I've been cold calling for small businesses, and I'm getting their value prop mixed up with value prop. So let me regroup again. I would say, hello, Jane. This is Christine with. Now, see, I've done it so many times and I'm messing up now. Hello, Jane. This is Christine with the Savvy Sales Lady. We train salespeople so they can overcome their learning curve and start producing right away. Is this a bad time to talk? Is this a bad time to talk? I have never had one person say to me, yes, it is a bad time to talk. Psychologically, people want to say no because they don't want to commit with a yes. So I ask a question that will get a no response. Is this a bad time to talk? Well, no, I have a few minutes. What's this about, Christine? I can't tell you how often that works. And matter of fact, it works so often, I continue to use it over and over again. And I train my one-on-one private clients to use that very phrase. Is now a bad time to talk? Is it a bad time to talk? Instead of, do you have a few minutes? Which is also something I typically hear when coaching clients. Do you have a few minutes? Most people are going to say, no, I don't have a few minutes. But if you do say, is this a bad time to talk? They generally will say, no, I've got a few minutes, or no, it's not. So I want to encourage you to use that. And if I remember right, I think that is from Chris Voss. I think he's, excuse me, he's the one that teaches that, if I remember right. But I'll tell you, it works like a charm every time. Okay, we're coming up on 15 minutes, and I just wanted to give you these two little snippets of information that you can try today. Right now, when you get off this podcast, go ahead and try it, okay? And we've got a couple of guests coming up over the next 2 weeks. And I'm just really glad that they're coming on board. And you'll learn more about that Monday of next week. We'll have the Savvy Sales Lady live on Tuesday at the regular time at 2 p.m. And thank you for being patient with me during these hiccups that I've had. I had major internet issues, almost going on 2 months, internet going in and out. Finally had all the rewiring done. It's just been a mess. So internet's great when it works, isn't it? So remember to always be savvy when selling, be prepared, and ask better questions. Bye-bye.